Good evening, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. Onegaishimasu. I hope everyone is well. I'll begin this morning or this evening with number 5 of the Shokushu, the 1 point in the lower abdomen. The universe is a limitless circle with an infinite radius. This condensed becomes the individual, then further condensed becomes the 1 point in the lower abdomen. This gift of 1 point is the very center of the universe. Let us calm our mind in this 1 point, and we will automatically experience the infinite key of the universe. It says right here. So I think maybe most of you, I hope, read the note that I sent out to everyone today about 1 point. But in case you didn't, I will read it if you don't mind. This was a question that I received yesterday. And the question was, the thing that recently I've found is that now my 1 point is situated lower than it was before. A couple of months ago, it was about 3 fingers width below my navel, and now it's about 4 fingers width. It's not my intention to put it lower, or maybe I didn't notice that, but the sense of the point is going down day by day, and I don't know why. Shall I return to the previous position? Or should I just look at what's going on? My answer was, through the years, there have been very many iterations of where the 1 point is in the lower abdomen. In the beginning, Koichi Toi Sensei always told us 3 finger widths below the navel. Then later, he began to say that it was a bit deeper than that, maybe 4 or 5 finger widths. Finally, when pressed, he said it was just above the top of the pubic bone, which on most of us is many finger widths below the navel. However, he also often taught that the 1 point moves around, sometimes even when is located outside of the body. For instance, when we are taking the key test of being pushed from behind and are sitting in the Agara position, he taught us that the 1 point must be experienced as being below the body or on or in the mat below us. Towards the end, I'm meaning here the end of his teaching, the ending of his life, he would get a bit frustrated by students asking him exactly where the 1 point resides in their body. And he began to teach that it's not a place at all, so much as it is a feeling. Even to identify the feeling itself with a special or exact place may not correlate with the experience of it. And of course, this is not a conceptual thing, but an experiential thing. Many would say that they experience the 1 point as the center of everything as we move about the world. To answer your question, I said, please look at what is going on within you and allow it to change according to circumstances. So this is a very simple, very simple, but very difficult to come upon experience. And one of the reasons why is, one of the reasons that proves that is that so many different people explain it in different ways or reflect it in different ways or talk about it as being different. But Toi Sensei is very, very clear. Your 1 point is the center of the universe. So is the universe yourself, or is the universe other than yourself? That's why it's so difficult. All right, we will return to this subject later. Let's do some key breathing. Sit up straight, please. Close your eyes. So, one point in the lower abdomen. I asked you before we started breathing about the universe. You know, do you see the universe as an object and you as a subject? If you feel this way, if you feel that your existence is confirmed by the things in the world, then of course that's going to be very difficult to experience one point. Because that means you experience one point as an object and you as the subject. Like, and so then you look about your body and try to find the spot where this object exists. But you might say, no. I think of it as an energetic body. I don't think of it as a physical body. That doesn't matter. You're objectifying it. You're objectifying it. You are the center of the universe. Is the universe you, or is it something else? So in a sense, it says the universe condensed becomes the individual. The individual condensed becomes the one point in the lower abdomen. The one point in the lower abdomen condensed, infinitely condensed, never becomes zero, but becomes one with the universe. So where is the subject there? And where is the object? See? This is why it's so difficult for people to, because we're used to, normally we're used to conceiving of something, seeing the way it works in a conceptual sense, and then eventually experiencing it. But there's no conceptualization of the one point in the lower abdomen. It's impossible. You know, Toy Sensei tried. I think he imagined when he was sitting in meditation, where do I feel this center of this? Okay, so maybe it's, you know, and you know, in Japan, Ahara, which is this area here, it's the large area, is very significant traditionally. And it's traditionally significant because that's the area where we experience ourselves as the center of the universe. So he wanted to be even more specific. And when he finally, I think he came to the very lowest part of the abdomen, which he tried to describe as the top of the pubic bone, because that's the point where all the weight of the upper body falls. So from a conceptualization point, from an objectification point, that's as good as he could do. And when he got older, he just said, oh, never mind, it's not that. It's not that. You have to experience it. It's a feeling. And even a feeling, sometimes we will objectify. Because that is our habit. That's the way we see the world. That's what it's called in the Genji Koan. That's what's called delusion. The self-awakening or self-realization is when you see that you exist because of all this, not it exists because of you. You see, you're the center of all this, so it confirms you, not you confirm it. Can you understand? So this is, that's why I said earlier, it's so simple. As long as you see that you are the universe, then this is the center of it. Well, of course, it's okay. But so like it's like trying to step on a bar of soap in the shower. You know, the harder you press, the more it squirts away from you. You cannot do that. You can't step on the bar of soap. We always want to solidify things. We want to be certain so that when we go to tell another person or write it down or teach someone, God forbid, we have a specific conceptual thing to pass on to them. Knowledge, right? Knowledge. So that we can feel that we've done our responsibility and they will respect us for that. This is a big mistake. This is not how things are. And, you know, and don't forget, if it really bothers you or you're really struggling with one point in the lower abdomen, Toy Sensei did give us 3 others, you know, relaxing completely, experiencing the weight of our body completely underside in every atom, and feeling the universe extended in all directions. Now, these are all infinite things. They're not limited or finite things. That's why he says those are 4 ways of looking at the hand. There are 4 ways of looking at one thing. The one thing is the self, or otherwise the universe. It's one thing that is everything. And you can look at it from different perspectives as long as you don't objectify it. And these things don't work for you if you're objectifying. So if you're having a hard time with it, that's why I told the student, it's better just to notice what's going on with you than to try to figure out what the one point is. Okay, so I said a lot there. Please, can you ask a question if you have one? You know what? Okay, Priya.
Aloha, Sensei.
Hello.
Thank you. So, I had this question actually for a long time, and I'm grateful that somebody has also asked a similar question. But it's one about because the one point is so important in the practice. It's our main focus. It seems like, you know, and I'm a beginner, so it seems like a beginner question maybe, but why the center? Why the hara area? Why that area? Why not the heart? Or, you know, the third eye? There's so many different places we could focus. But like, for instance, the heart, like if you want to connect with somebody, why not connect with your heart instead of, you know, so that's one of my questions.
I think the only thing I can tell you in answer to that is because the one point is the center of the universe. Because it actually is the center of the universe. It actually is the point that includes everything. There are other important points. That's not to minimize the heart or the throat or the tente, ajna, or any of the other so-called centers. Sahasrara, of course, extremely important. But it's not the center of the universe. Those are, well, you know, and I only say this, I'm not an expert in all religions or chakras or anything like that. I have, my only expertise comes from living in Aikido for 50 years, you know, and so that I have an experience. And of course, the way I've developed has been guided by Koichi Toei Sensei and Suzuki Sensei and Shinichi Toei Sensei and other teachers that have supported me. So the way I've developed is vis-a-vis their teaching. And I'm sure it's influenced me greatly, but that's how I experience this very, very strongly. So I recommend it highly. But of course, you can do whatever you like, and you can do whatever feels natural to you. I want to, may I go on? That, okay. Because I want to ask Andre, who's the one that asked me the question. Andre, would you please come on and tell us if that, what I wrote and then what we've discussed has helped you understand?
Yeah. Hello, Sensei.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I asked this question because it isn't the first time I meet with such problem. A few years ago, when I started to practice keep breathing, and I read a book by Koichi Tohei Sensei, What is Aikido, issued in 1952, and there was written that one point is 2 fingers below. Yes, yes, and in year 2015, I visited Pavel Nigei Sensei in Moscow, and he told me about that it is 3 fingers below, and it was, well, actually my mind didn't find a way how to manage it, so I didn't feel 1 point for maybe a year, or I stopped my practice at all. So, but as you Sensei said, yes, the 1 point is just one of 4 principles. So it's important also to keep to look at other things. And if memory serves me well, also in this book, there was written that 1 point is kind of a mirror reflection of Tente. And sometimes, I don't know, I have such experience when I'm concentrating on 1 point, yes, I can feel some kind of feeling. And it's also kind of testing, so if I'm concentrating correctly, I don't know.
Okay, so Toy Sensei says to us always, he used to say, if the way to check if you are experiencing 1 point or not is, are you completely relaxed? If you're not, you cannot have the other 3. If you have 1, then you have all of them. If there's 1 you don't have, then the other 3 you may think you have, but you don't have. If you are keeping 1 point, if you're experiencing 1 point, resting in 1 point, then you're completely relaxed. You are experiencing weight on your side, and ki is extending infinitely. So it's kind of it's like you can't pick one and say, I like that one, I'm going to just follow that. Well, you can, but ultimately, it's not really happening for us unless they're all happening. That's what he would tell us about. It's 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Sensei.
I didn't plan on talking so much about this. This is a big subject, and there's a lot of question. It only becomes confusing and frustrating when we try to pin it down and determine exactly what it is. As long as we're not trying to do that, as long as we are just allowing it to develop on its own, at some point, we begin to know something that we didn't know we knew. And it's all part and parcel of this business of transcending our delusion, which is the greatest delusion of all time is I'm over here and you're over there. As long as we have subject and object in our life, then we don't understand Aikido, we don't understand meditation, we certainly don't understand 1 point in the lower abdomen, what Toy Sensei was talking about. So all of this teaching is to help us realize this oneness. Now, all separation arises from me over here and you over there. We make this separation in our mind. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. Maybe we'll do more later. That be all right? Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much.